Today, we're going to decode a secret conversation that's happening inside you right now. It's this constant back and forth that literally shapes your mood, how you handle stress, even your thoughts. We're talking about the gut-brain connection. It's a hidden world, and it's shaping who you are every single second. So let's dive in. You know that phrase, right? Everyone said it. That little intuitive hunch, that inkling, that just seems to bubble up from deep inside you. Most of the time, we just write it off as a figure of speech. A metaphor for intuition. But what if I told you it's not a metaphor at all? What if that gut feeling is the end result of a very real, incredibly complex, two-way communication network? It's like a biological superhighway of information constantly flying between your brain and, you guessed it, your gut. Okay, so to really understand this conversation, we have to meet the participants. And it turns out we're not exactly alone in our own bodies, not by a long shot. And the sheer scale of this is it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. Look at this. For every single human cell in your body, there are about 1.3 microbial cells. We're talking trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi, the whole shebang. They make up your gut microbiota. So in a way, you're actually more microbe than human. And this whole network has a name. It's called the microbiotic gut-brain axis. Think of it as the official name for that superhighway we were talking about. It's the framework that lets this gigantic ecosystem of microbes talk directly to your brain and lets your brain talk right back. And it influences everything from your immune system to your behavior. So how does this connection actually play out in real life? Well, one of the clearest and most powerful examples is how our bodies handle stress. Let's take a look at the body's primary alarm system. Imagine this. Your brain perceives some kind of threat. It could be a looming deadline at work, or maybe a difficult conversation you have to have. Well, your brain basically yanks on a chemical alarm cord. And that signal doesn't just stay put in your head. Oh no, it shoots through your entire body, and your gut feels it loud and clear. This whole alarm system is called the HPA axis, and it's this incredibly precise chain reaction. First, the hypothalamus sends out a signal. That signal tells the pituitary gland, hey, release this other chemical messenger. And then finally, that second messenger reaches the adrenal glands, which flood your system with cortisol, the famous stress hormone. It's amazing, really. A single thought can trigger this massive physical gut-level reaction. Now, this system is fantastic for short-term threats, fight or flight. But the science is crystal clear on this. When that alarm is being pulled over and over and over again, the system starts to break down. Chronic stress messes with this entire axis, creating this nasty feedback loop that hurts both your gut health and your brain function. So the key takeaway? This isn't just a one-and-done reaction. But, and this is so important, remember, this is a two-way street. The brain isn't just sitting up in an ivory tower shouting orders. Your gut microbes are constantly sending messages back up to the brain, actively shaping how you think and how you feel. So let's listen in on what that conversation actually sounds like. Okay, I know this looks incredibly complex, and that's because, it is. This is basically the wiring diagram for the whole communication grid. You don't need to memorize it all, but just notice all the different types of pathways. You've got direct neural highways, like the vagus nerve. Then you have immune pathways and metabolic pathways, where the byproducts of your lunch literally become chemical messages. It's this constant, multi-layered chatter happening all the time. So let's just focus on two of the main lines to make it simple. On one hand, you have the vagus nerve. Think of it like a dedicated fiber optic cable. It's the fastest, most direct connection you can get between the gut and brain. And then you've got a slower, more systemic route, chemical messages like hormones and metabolites that travel through your bloodstream kind of like a system-wide radio broadcast. And this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. So many of the key chemical messengers you think of as being in the brain, like serotonin that regulates your mood, or GABA that has a calming effect. A huge portion of them can be produced or influenced by your gut microbes. It's like they're running a little neurochemical factory down there. Your happiness isn't just in your head, it's being manufactured in your gut. And this is where the link between what you eat and how you feel becomes so clear it's almost undeniable. When you eat things with fiber, your gut bacteria get to work digesting it. And when they do, they produce these amazing molecules called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These little guys can actually travel from your gut into your bloodstream, get all the way to your head, cross the super protective blood-brain barrier, and directly influence the health and function of your brain cells. What you eat literally feeds your thoughts. So this gut-brain conversation, it's not a static thing. It starts the moment you're born, and it evolves with you your entire life, playing a different but always critical role at every single stage. It all starts at birth when we get our first big dose of microbes. Then, early childhood is this absolutely critical window where this new ecosystem is helping to physically shape the wiring of the brain. As we become adults, it stabilizes, but it continues to influence our daily mood and how we respond to stress. And as we get into old age, the diversity of our microbes tends to go down, a change that researchers are now linking to things like increased inflammation and even age-related cognitive issues. So, after all that, after understanding this incredible, intricate connection, what does it all mean? Where do we go from here? What's the future of all this? So why does any of this matter? Because it's so much more than just cool biology. It's a genuine paradigm shift. Understanding this axis gives us a completely new way to think about mental health. It shows us a tangible, physical link between our diet, our stress, and our psychological well-being. And it's opening the door to potential new treatments for really complex brain disorders by focusing not on the brain, but on the gut. And that really just leaves us with this one truly provocative question. As we keep unraveling this secret conversation, we have to ask, could nurturing this hidden world inside of us be one of the most powerful tools we have for healing the mind? It's a question that is reshaping medicine as we speak.